Today I wanted to go into depth about the laser engraver jewelry assignment. Basically, you're going to be using Adobe Illustrator to create your own jewelry. You will be using Adobe Illustrator to engrave and also to cut. So once we make our design, then we can submit it over to the laser engraver to engrave and cut out of material. We have a ton of different colors of acrylic, and so you could potentially cut and engrave your jewelry out of a colored plastic like this, or if you prefer maybe a more natural look, you can just cut and engrave it out of this 1/8 inch wood. So you get to choose what your design is, you get to create that, and then you get to choose what material it will be engraved and cut into. Not only that, but you can also choose what type of jewelry you will be making. So you have the choice between 2 earrings, a ring, a necklace, and a bracelet. And I'll show you the hardware of what that looks like. If you prefer to make a earring, we have gold and silver earring hardware, along with a bunch of like chains if you wanted to make it a little more dangly. That's up to you. So you can design your earring to be hooked along these fish hook earrings here, or maybe you want to turn it into a ring. So you are able to create a design and cut it out, and then we will just be gluing it onto this flat surface for this ring. Some of you guys may prefer to do something more like a bracelet. So we have these bracelets, and then you can just hook it onto these chains afterwards. And similar to the bracelet, we also have a longer necklace. So you get to decide what type of thing you will be manufacturing. So this project is kind of like twofold. You're going to be creating your design where it's engraving and being cut on Adobe Illustrator, and then we'll be making that, and then you'll be assembling it with that external jewelry hardware. So let me just show you a couple different tips and tricks with Adobe Illustrator. If you aren't familiar with it, I will expand this. Create a new file. And then in terms of your artboard, I'm going to leave it up to you. Obviously, you wouldn't want like a super huge ring that's going to like cover all of your other fingers, but you may want a bigger charm for your necklace, for instance. I mean, probably 5 inches is overkill. So I would make this maybe like 3 inches by 3 inches. But again, the size of the artboard is kind of up to you for this project. So we're going to create the artboard. You can either press the create button down here or press the enter button, and then you'll get to this space. I've gone into depth about Adobe Illustrator before, so you can watch any of my other videos for the rundown on all of these different tools. But I guess the idea is you're probably going to want to be using either this shape tool, pick one of these shapes, or the pen tool to create your own shape. So let's just say I want to make a star for my necklace. We're going to create the star here. And if you have forgotten or if you didn't know, you need to set the stroke size to 0.001 to tell the laser cutter to cut along this edge. You may want to save this step for the very last so you can still see the lines, because it is kind of hard to see them at the moment. So when you're editing it, maybe it can be up to like 0.5 or 0.1, something like that, so you can see it a little bit better. And then afterwards, go back and change that to 0.001. So you're going to create your design, you know, text, paintbrush tool. It's kind of up to you what your artwork looks like. Obviously, something simple like this, I wouldn't give it a great grade because it clearly took you 5 seconds to do. So you'll definitely want to spend a little more time being more creative, manipulating things, maybe manipulating these anchor points to where you want them to be, maybe making your own thing using the pen tool. So we'll, I don't know, give them a little flag. How about that? Right? Obviously, spend your time designing your jewelry because once it's made, you're going to want it to be something that you can be proud of. So one thing that I wanted to show you, do you see how these two shapes are overlapping with each other? If you want to erase these lines that are intersecting and kind of fuse these as two shapes, you hold shift click to select his flag, shift click to select the star, and right here when you have multiple shapes selected, you can click on the unite button and that will basically like fuse them. Now it did erase my paintbrush because anything that's inside these outlines gets deleted. So you may have to redraw your smiley face, any kind of design, whatever you want to do there. Okay, so that's how you edit that. And then if you wanted this to be outline, obviously you'd set this to 0.001. If this is, depending on what you're trying to make, if you're trying to make a ring, you don't necessarily have to worry about this, but if you're trying to make a charm for a bracelet or earring or necklace, you'll probably want to create a small little hole here that you will be cutting out so that you can fit the hardware in this thing. So maybe somewhere right there. You wouldn't want it too close to the edge, otherwise it's just going to break off when we cut it out. So somewhere right there where you give yourself enough distance. Once you are sure that you love your jewelry, it's exactly the right size that you want it to be. Again, how you change the size is you select the object itself and then the sizes are over here. So if I actually wanted this to be 2 by 2, you could change that down. Obviously, you'd have to scale down the other things as well. So we can scale here. Okay, once you're ready to go, just make sure that everything you want to cut is set to 0.001, and then you can go ahead and save this thing and submit it on canvas so that it can be cut and engraved on whatever material you choose to do. So just go to File, Save As, save on your computer. We can call this first name, last name, jewelry, then hit save, and then that's the file. It's probably going to be saved into your documents folder. Then you can go over to the Canvas assignment and submit your assignment. And then once I engrave it, cut it out, then you can assemble the external hardware to the jewelry. Good luck!